Good morning, happy Friday. Hope everyone's well. I think we must be getting towards the end of Easter holidays finally, aren't we? I hope so, for those of you who would like to return to some normality. I am in a slightly different location today, still with the ends of the blow dry I had for the awards on Wednesday, which I'm feeling quite pleased about. But I am in iconic offices in Dublin, morning on Instagram, because I am finally getting to do in-person sessions with clients, and I've got a whole day immersion with a new client today. So I'm here, I'm ready, but I wanted to still come live and talk to you about this final part of the How to Market Your Business Without Social Media course. I've called this little talk how to reach thousands more people that need your offer in just 5 minutes a day, because one of the key things that I hear people say is like, I'm ready, I've got my website, Vicky, I've got my mailing list, you know, I might be using social media, but I can't find the people that need me. And this final week of the course is all about how to, morning Katie, this final week of the course is all about how to get in front of the right people. Now, I have to say, this step and using this step is much more effective if you know who your ideal customers are. And I know a lot of people will say, well, to be quite frank, I would just take anyone that pays me right now. And that's lovely, and I get it. And we have all been there in our businesses where you're like, I would just take any paying customers. The trouble is you can't market yourself effectively if you don't know exactly who it is that you are reaching. And the broad category of anyone that will pay me does not count. So in order to market yourself effectively, whether you're using social media or not, you always need to know, who is it I'm trying to reach? Who is that ideal customer? Where would they be hanging out? What kind of things would they be reading? What kind of things would they be Google searching? Because we cover that in week 1 of the course, and using that and how we use that to get in front of them. What are their biggest pain points and problems and issues, symptoms, the thing that they would really like solving and sorting in their life, in their health, in their minds, in their bodies? I've gone a bit boobly again today. So without that knowledge of who that person is, it is much trickier to market yourself anywhere, whether that is on social media or whether that is without social media. So that is a little recap. And if you come and join the course, I do have some introductory videos, and one of those does reiterate that point. Like, all of this work is much more effective if the previous step that you've done is, who is my ideal customer? But for this final week, what we do then, if you know who that person is, or you have a rough idea of who that person is, we're looking at where would they be hanging out and can we get in front of them? So what I teach in this final module is using press and PR and getting yourself into magazines, onto the radio, maybe onto the TV, who knows, in order to get in front of the kind of customers that you would love to be reaching. And this is really, morning Jenny, I know Jenny's joining us for the course. This is really important because it does lots of things for your business. It rocket propels your status. It shows that you're an expert and that you own it. You're like, I am an expert. I'm an expert enough to be quoted in a magazine on this particular topic, or to speak as an expert on the radio, or whatever it might be. Morning, Jenny. So that is huge for your business anyway. And if you are one of these people that's sitting thinking, I'm ready, I want a business, I want customers, but I just don't know where they are, this is the point of if this is a way to do it. This is a fast track way of getting yourself into it, right in front of, Jenny's just saying there, I need press, excuse me. A fast track way of getting in front of thousands of those people all in one go. So I use a good few examples in the training inside the course. Katie's just saying the course is excellent. You won't regret doing it. Katie's working through it at the moment. I show lots of examples of how to do this and how I have done this for my own business, and particularly with the book, which gave me a really good hook and a really good reason to get in touch with the press recently, to get myself, morning Janice, morning Susan, to get myself quoted and listed in places like the Business Post, who I'm now going to try and talk to about, see if I can get some more regular features or some more regular writing. I got featured in Good Housekeeping magazine, so I've now got some connections to some journalists there. So I sent them the press release about my book and said, would you be interested in featuring this? where else have I managed to be featured? The Independent as well. And sometimes I'm talking about other topics around my area. So quite a lot seem to have been quoted around childcare, which is a big topic for a lot of us. I actually know Kendall, who may or may not be watching, was quoted in The Sun recently, again, talking about childcare. So you might think, well, that's not directly related to my business, so what's the point? But actually, what you're starting to do when you get quoted in these places is build up those relationships with journalists and just get practice at getting in, being helpful, being seen on that level and saying, this is the kind of business owner I am, this is the kind of person I am, this is where I want to be seen and who I want to be seen by. And certainly, as you all know, from the hair, I went to the Image Business Awards earlier this week, and a big part of that, to be quite frank, is to try and make sure I can get into the magazine and featured in the magazine at some point, and to make some connections there, and to show my commitment to the magazine and how they support business owners, to potentially see if there's some way that I can work with them. So sometimes it's like this, well, like everything that I do, is chipping away effect of making sure we get seen and getting featured in the right places. So what I teach in the course is how to do that, how to start thinking about which publications, which blogs, which places, which radio stations are my ideal customers listening to or reading or following, and how can I go and get featured there? Can I pitch myself? Can I respond and get quoted as an expert? I was just going to say, I'm actually going to be quoted next month, featured on Dublin City FM on the Conscious Living programme. And again, that was an opportunity actually that came to me rather than me pitching for it, because of me being visible, putting out my content and showing like who I am and what my expertise is. And I would like to think also, because I've been featured in other press, kind of knowing that I'm a good person to be able to quote and to feature and kind of reliable in that area. Congrats, Katie's saying, thank you. It was a lovely interview actually, and it will be available. It will go out on the 13th of May, and then there's a podcast version as well, so I'll be sharing that. So this for me is really important. The other part that morning Jessica, the other part that I combine the press and PR tips, because I know a lot of you will be listening going, that's fine for you, Vicky, but you're much more well established and your business is running and you've got customers, so it's fine for you to, quote for the press, but who am I? Every single module of this course, like everything that I do in all of the training I offer, is a combination of here's the practical tips, here's why you should be doing it, here's how to do it, and then I do a whole section. Morning, Rachel, on Facebook, LinkedIn, brilliant. I do a whole section on all of the mindsets that will be coming up, all the stories that you'll be telling yourself, all the things, all the reasons that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, or fear of judgment, all of those things as well. Morning, Laura. So I cover all of those as well. I also combine in this module, if like press, PR, radio, TV, magazines, like all feels a little bit scary or a little bit daunting, or actually maybe you just think my ideal customer doesn't go to those places, doesn't a lot of my customers help busy mums, and they're like, they don't have time to read a newspaper or even a magazine. So where then are they hanging out? Where are they going? Where do they get their information? And then making sure you are in those places. So if it's not a magazine, if it's not a radio station, is it a podcast? Do they love listening to podcasts? Can you get yourself on some of those podcasts? Can you pitch? Can you have a listen to them? Can you get talking to the host on social media or on email away from social media? Can you meet them or arrange to have a chat or pitch to be featured and come up with a different topic that they might be interested in to cover that they haven't yet on that podcast? If your ideal customer doesn't read newspapers or magazines, but they listen to podcasts or read blogs, or maybe follow other similar kind of people in your sphere, can you collaborate with those people? Morning, Anya. Can you collaborate with those people? Can you go do, joint events? Can you combine, or can you do a blog swap with them? Again, week 1, we talk about websites and blogging. You write your blogs for your website. Could you go and write blogs for someone else's website and get featured in order to reach their audience and tap into the trust that they've built? Because there's so many other ways of reaching the people that you want. I think it's very easy to get stuck in that trap of, and actually for me, this is kind of a bit of a self-sabotage, really. It's everything's really hard. I'm ready for my business. I really want customers, but I can't reach them and I can't find them. You absolutely can. If you know who they are and you think about where are they hanging out, and even if you don't know the answer to that question, if you don't know where they go for their information, go and ask them. Find even 1 or 2 people that you think would be an ideal customer for what you do, and then go and say, what do you read? Where do you go for information? Where are you looking for advice? Who else are you following? And then working backwards from that, right, if you listen to this podcast, I need to get myself on that podcast or something similar. Or if you're reading that kind of blog or Google searching that, that's where I need to be. I need to be featured on that website, or I need to be on that radio show. And then that is your job. That is what you're then going to be doing and prioritizing in your business, in your marketing, to go and get there. And the course, I show you all the templates. I show you good practice of how to do this. And the examples of where I have done it myself successfully. Morning, Maura, successfully and also not successfully, because like everything in business, you just have to keep trying. Certainly with the press and PR, and being totally honest with you guys, the press and PR around the book, I can't even tell you how many press releases I have sent out for that book, and so many things, to like Women's Health magazine and loads of other places. I think this would be amazing. Like, this would be a great thing. I think it would really, really benefit their audience. I get really excited. I get slightly nervous about sending the press release and being like, I think you should feature my book. Then I get really excited, and then I find they're not interested and they don't reply. And that's normal. That's the same way that we, try and reach customers, and not everybody is going to respond. It's not going to be the right time for everybody. Actually, the magic for me with the press and the PR will be in following up with those people. And interestingly for me with the book, what I did do this week was move on to, beyond the press releases for the magazines, to people who could feature me on their podcast. And actually, I've had a better response on that. People saying, yes, do you want to come on and be a guest on my podcast, which is really exciting. So this is how to reach thousands more people that need your offer in 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, there is a method that I share inside the course on how to get featured in the press. I show you how to do it, where to be looking, and how we also support people inside the Just Start Now community to do this, so that you can get quoted as an expert. Because suddenly, if you're in front of those people, you're positioning yourself as an expert, this is going to skyrocket who you are reaching. So this is the 4th week of Marketing Without Social Media, the final module. So we built on your website and your SEO, your mailing list. Yesterday we were talking about, networks and building up your professional referral network and how to do that. And this final step is tapping into other people's audiences and using those press and PR contacts. All 4 of those combined together come up with a wonderful, super sustainable, super effective marketing method that does not rely at all on social media. And that is what the course will give you the confidence and plenty of tools to do. Do come and join us. Send me a direct message if you've got any questions. We start on Monday, the 2nd of May. The course is €100, which I'm hoping is nice and accessible. I've had a few people say they're waiting for payday, so I completely understand on that. I'm going to close the doors next Friday, so you've got a week still to hop on board. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to enjoy this lovely space and wait for my in-person client to arrive. In-person, people. Amazing. Right, I will see you all soon.